Hello and welcome to the Tinley Park Chambers Cable TV show. As many of you already know, my name is Joe Ficcaro. I am the Chamber's Executive Director and your cable show host. Before we actually get started, if I may say, if you want to get in touch with any of our guests tonight or any of the Chamber members, please call the Chamber office at 708-532-5700 or access our webpage at tinleychamber.org and click on Directory. You can find all of our members there categorically, alphabetically, and their contact information. Having said that, why don't we welcome our first guest and one of the newest people here in Tinley Park. We have with us Mary Havener, who works for the Village of Tinley Park. She is their business retention specialist. Mary, welcome.
Thank you.
We've spoken a number of times, but finally we've got you on the show, and looking forward to getting a lot of information.
Well, thank you for inviting me as your guest tonight. I appreciate it. Being new to Tinley Park, it's great to learn the resources that the Chamber has and to meet you and some key people in the community. It's an honor and a privilege to serve the people of Tinley Park, and I appreciate the opportunity to be here today and kind of explain what I do as the business retention specialist.
All right. Well, that's a good start, and I know I've heard you are off to a good start, having been here for about how long now?
I've been here about 2 months, Joe.
Okay.
But I did come here with experience. As you know, and our audience may not know, I was the former director of the North Fort Myers Chamber of Commerce. So I'm really pro Chamber of Commerce, and it's really exciting to come into an area where there's such a strong presence of the Chamber and such great participation of its members. So I'm really happy to be here and bring my expertise of the business background and the Chamber background, and again to partner with the Chamber to improve things for our businesses and the business atmosphere here in Tinley Park.
We were so happy to hear that you were coming and that you were starting and that you did have a Chamber of Commerce background. But for those people who don't know where that's located, why don't you tell them where that is? Tell us a little bit more about yourself, and then we'll get into what you actually do with the Village of Tinley Park.
Oh, great. Again, I was the former director in Florida, so I've recently relocated from Florida, so I'm feeling my way around Tinley Park and getting to know the businesses. North Fort Myers, Florida is on the Gulf Coast of Florida.
The Gulf Coast, right.
So we have a population similar to the Tinley Park population.
Okay.
And business growth, basically our businesses there were hospitality businesses, restaurant, things like that. Mm-hmm. And again, very similar to Tinley Park and what Tinley Park offers as far as businesses.
We do have quite diverse businesses here in Tinley Park. And obviously, you know, we've got some great restaurants, hospitality. But Mary, tell us, what does a business retention specialist focus on then?
Well, business retention specialist focuses on attracting businesses and retaining businesses as part of the economic development of a community. Economic development is not only focusing on bringing jobs here and job growth and bringing increases to the community, but it also has to deal with population increases to make sure that we have the people that are here to support the businesses that are open, and also to support a strong quality of life. You want to make sure that you have a nice balance. And again, that's something that the Chamber does. They support their businesses. They encourage people to shop locally. Mm-hmm. And again, it makes a community that is strong and thrives.
And we show the community that the businesses are supporting them in many respects.
Exactly.
Not just simply by being there. So, what is the goal of the Village's retention program then? I mean, other than, as you've said, attracting new businesses and keeping them here, how do they go about doing that?
Well, there's several goals to the business retention, and the first one is to demonstrate appreciation to our existing businesses. You know, Joe, it's so often we forget to say thank you to the businesses that are here, and they support the community with a strong tax base. So again, on behalf of the
Sure.
village and the residents of Tinley Park, I want to say a warm thank you to our existing businesses. And then secondly, the second goal would be to encourage expansion with a sustainable growth. And what I mean by sustainable growth is that we want to encourage this business to expand in a reasonable pace so that it doesn't cause economic hardships as far as funding, inventory, staffing. You have to have a planned growth. The last thing we'd want to see is a business that would go under because they grew too large for the community.
Yeah.
So again, we want to make sure that we help our businesses to thrive and expand at a reasonable pace. The third goal is to be a conduit between the businesses and the village. If there is something that is hindering the progress or is in some way affecting a business's viability, we want to know about it. We're there to help. Now, you know, the village can't do everything for the businesses, but if there's something we can do, we would really, really like to help our businesses. And we need to know what is hindering their progress. Is there something that's causing them some heartburn? And then lastly, we want to be able to be a source of information to bring awareness to the resources that are available to the community, whether it be local, state, federal programs, partner agencies and organizations like the SBA, who has different programs and trainings that that business owners can go to learn about different mannerisms and business environments. So again, those are the 4 goals. And again, I think you have the same goals as well. I believe you do seminars, you do breakfasts, you have chamber meetings, and you have networking. So again, what we do is real similar to what we do at the chamber.
And sometimes it's very well coordinated, and we love that that symbiotic relationship.
Great.
So, looking at my notes here, I know there are various programs specifically designed to help businesses. Are you going to reveal some of those during our show now, or?
Yes.
Okay.
There are a few, there's many programs that businesses can take advantage of, again, both in the local, state, and federal programs. However, there's a real great program here in Tinley Park where we can lower the interest rate on capital investment loans for our local businesses. So if a business, say one of your members, wants to borrow $25,000 for equipment or land or property, and it has to be a minimum of $25,000. If they have a pre-approved loan with a branch here in Tinley Park, the village can set up a linked deposit to buy down their interest rate. So at closing, the businesses would get a lower rate.
That's
and
great.
This is something that there's no cost to our Tinley businesses.
Mary, I will tell you at this point we've got about a minute and a half, if that. So we want to make sure that we get in whatever other information you want to get in that period of time.
That's great. I just want to talk about
We have a minute,
one more
Right.
program, and
Okay.
that's through the state of Illinois, and that's the Job Creation Tax Credit. And again, for businesses who hire full-time employees, they get a $2,500 credit. You can register online to get that credit as long as the job is full-time and pays a minimum of at least $10.
Those are great programs,
They
and you're
are.
right. Businesses need to know that. Now, what's happening in the village in July and August, and maybe further on?
We do have some special events, again, like the chamber. So
We have 30
we'd like to,
seconds.
we want to talk about cruise nights every Tuesday from 5 to 9 in August. Music in the Plaza every other Saturday from 7 to 9. The Farmers Market every Saturday morning through October 10th. And of course, our premier event, the Caribbean Block Party, on Sunday, July 19th. We hope to see everyone there.
We do. And how much time do we have? Let's see. We've got the Caribbean. National Night Out is in August, right?
Yes,
August 4th?
yes. And what I just like to say is I encourage people to get involved, Joe.
Okay.
You know, this is your community. Participate, join the chamber, volunteer, be a
Thank
part
you.
of the community.
Mary, thank you. That's very good information. We hope to have you on again sometime in the very near future.
Thank you, Joe.
All
I
right.
appreciate it. Thank
Okay.
you.
Well, we have our next guest, somebody who probably is very familiar to all of you, if not from the cable show, from just being around town a lot. We have with us John Greenan, who is a member of the board of directors of P.A.W.S. And for those of you who may not know what that stands for, it says on his shirt right there, People's Animal Welfare Society of Tinley Park in this case.
That's correct.
John, welcome. And along with John, we have Candy, Candy Staros, who is a volunteer, a valuable volunteer for P.A.W.S. And I'm told she also has helped in a great need with the health team, especially most recently. Welcome, both of you. And we have with us one of the most laid-back dogs I've ever known. We have with us Bugs, and that's something he doesn't do. He doesn't bug you at all. I mean, thank you, Bugs, for being so calm. Bugs? And I'm told Bugs will give paw autographs for donations to Paws. Did I say Bugs will do that?
Yes.
Yes. Right, Bugs? He just
agrees
lifted
with
his eyes. That was an agreement. So, without any further ado, John and Candy, thank you for being here again. And let's get into what we've got going on at P.A.W.S, particularly, this month of July and maybe for some of the following months.
Okay. Well, we have some fundraisers coming up. Our first fundraiser is July 10th and 11th. It's called Tag Days. So basically what you'll be doing, what our volunteers will be doing is collecting donations for the shelter. So you'll be seeing them at intersections, at corners. So please donate to the shelter.
And how will we identify them?
They will all have P.A.W.S attire on.
Okay.
If it's not our vest, it's a T-shirt.
Okay.
And July 21st, we have a dime to donate at Boston's Restaurant from 5:30 to 9:30. We have the pet communicator coming there that night. She'll actually read your pet. On September 20th, we have the pet parade here on Oak Park Avenue. It is from 12 to 4. September 20th, we have a really big fundraiser. It's called Bark and Brew. What Bark and Brew is, it's a beer tasting. So we'll be charging $30 for drinks and unlimited amount of beer and $20 to just eat. It is a family-friendly event. Even though there is alcohol served, it must be 21 to participate.
To purchase, right.
We also have trivia night, which is October 3rd at 6 p.m., and that's at Morton's.
At Morton's?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And I'm sorry, Bark and Brew is at Gaelic Park this year. We can have up to 500 people for Bark and Brew this year.
All right. Now, we are going to elaborate on some of these things, right?
Sure.
Later on. But, all right, so we've gotten an overview of the events. And are most of them like on the weekends?
Yes.
Okay.
Most of them are all on the weekends, except for the Boston's event, which is a Tuesday evening. Boston's has been working with us, I think, for the last 5 years. In the whole month of July, it is you can come out to the patio and eat with your companion, whether it be a cat or a dog. It just has to be on a leash, because we do have leash laws here in Tinley Park, and we all like to abide by them.
So I should say, if any of you are thinking of bringing a companion that's not a canine or a feline on a leash, that's out. It's got to be a canine or a feline, right?
Well, you're welcome to have your animals. I think we've had a guinea pig there last year, and I believe we had somebody had brought a pet raccoon one time, but we told them that that was not the best place for it.
Well, it could have been a very docile raccoon,
Yeah.
but, especially if
Well,
it
with
was
all the dogs.
named Rocky.
Yeah, we with all the dogs, we didn't want there to be a problem.
Yes. All right. So, as I said, we've done an overview of the events, but let's tell people what P.A.W.S does, and maybe we want to talk about what's occurred most recently, some of the challenges.
And Candy can talk about that.
All right. Well,
Thank
Candy?
you. Well, thank you for inviting us, first of all. And I would just like to say that I think P.A.W.S was very, very fortunate to be in the village of Tinley Park when the canine flu hit. It was something that was unforeseen, and we ultimately had all of our dogs, who, except for one, who came down with the canine flu. So we were very, very, very busy. We were short of supplies. We had people putting it out on Facebook and on the P.A.W.S website of things that we needed. One of them was chicken soup, because our dogs were not eating, and they were, we were trying to entice them to eat anything, and chicken soup was, it's good for humans, and so it's good for dogs as well. And we had so many residents of Tinley Park, and even outside of Tinley Park, that came and asked what did we need, gave us donations, and we could not have made it without them. And I just want to use one tiny example. In the midst of our canine flu, and everybody had been, working there endlessly and tirelessly, our volunteers, a woman came in and she was empty-handed, and she said, "Is there anything that I can do to help you with the dogs?" And we were trying to find binder clips. We were using binder clips to keep our towels clipped to the cages so that we could give them, the dogs, oxygen and respiratory treatments. And we were joking, but really not joking, and we said, "We need clothespins." She literally drove to Menards and got us a lifetime supply of clothespins, and I can tell you that it was the best thing in the world. So no matter how small or how large, we appreciated everyone in our community who did things for us and helped us out. And we did have last weekend, which is long gone by now, but we had our grand reopening of P.A.W.S. And we've invited the community, and they did a wonderful job of adopting many, many, many of our dogs. So we are very grateful to the community, to Heather House, to Boston's, to Firehouse Subs, Ed and Joe's, all the people, Mayor's Office, the Village of Tinley Park.
There are so many. And who would have thought chicken soup?
For the soul.
That's really. Well, we have a couple of minutes left in this segment, so we want to make sure that if there's anything we want to get in, we get it in and don't run out of time. So, John, there's some things that
what we want to tell the community is, support your local animal shelters. Will it be P.A.W.S or another animal shelter? Adopt a pet from a shelter. Don't go spend the money at a fancy pet store, because when you adopt from us, you're saving a life. And that's the most important thing, is that all these shelters, these animals are there for a reason, because they're so overwhelmed. So come out to the shelters, adopt a dog. You're saving a life. Perfect example is my service dog. He was a P.A.W.S animal, and now he's my service dog. I cannot be grateful enough to have him every day in my life.
We have a minute left. Let's make sure we give the contact information, your location, phone number, what have you.
You can always contact us on our website. That would be www.pawsoftinleypark.org. And you can always give the chambers a call to give our information out. We're also asking for any businesses, if you want to be involved with P.A.W.S, please give us a call, talk to me, and we'd be welcome to support from any businesses from our community.
Well, you've heard it straight from John's mouth. I was going to jokingly say straight from the canine's mouth, but I can't. It is a worthwhile program. They have saved many, many pets. And I know many of you out there probably have one in your own home, and they become part of your family.
And we're always looking for volunteers. That's a big.
Yes, they are.
We're completely volunteer run, and so we are always looking for adult volunteers.
Thank you both for being on our show.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, as you know, I don't do a lot of reading on our cable show, but if I could, the Tinley Park Chamber of Commerce wants to promote our summer food drive. And it says here, it shouldn't happen. Families should not go hungry. Yet the reality is there are local families struggling to simply put food on the table. You may know somebody that's next door to you, and you may not know that. Food pantries often see a decline in donations during the summer. The Tinley Park Chamber is stepping up to help fill the void, and we're asking chamber members and friends to help out. The chamber will match donations with a cash contribution of $1 for every item donated up to $500. All donations will be shared with Together We Cope and the Tinley Park Food Pantry. Now, we are going to try to get some particular bags that would be available that you could put your collected items in for the food drive. Contact the chamber office from now until the end of August, and we will pick up filled bags to deliver to the pantries. The chamber office, again, the number is 708-532-5700. Now, our next guest is something that a lot of kids, and I think a lot of adults probably would like to do that too, but we have with us Lourdes and Reuben Sanchez from MR Moonwalks, but we like to call it Mr. Moonwalks. Welcome to our show.
Well, thank you for having us.
Very timely, you know, it's hotter now in July and even August, whatever's going to get hot. Lourdes is the owner of MR Moonwalks, and Reuben is her son. He is I'm told he is the guy that lugs the things around and sets things up, and Lourdes, as the founder of the company, just keeps the organization running smoothly.
Yes, well, Mr. Moonwalks have been in business for 11 years now.
Mm-hmm.
This is our 11th year. It's a family-owned business, and when I say family, it was literally started by family because it was myself, my husband, and my kids. 11 years ago, he was about 9 years old. So he's been doing this for 11 years.
Mm-hmm.
He's very good at it. Our main priority is safety, good customer service because that's what everyone wants. Our products are clean. I've had no complaints, and we get a lot of comments from our customers. They're very happy with our product. I've heard other stories about, other jump companies,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm glad to know that we're not one of them. So, like I said, we've been in the business for 11 years, and we've been growing. We now carry tents, tables, and chairs, so we could probably do the whole setup for you.
Okay.
In July, well, right now, it gets hot, so Mr. Pete right here, Mr. Polar Pete, is our new addition. So if anybody's interested, we can bring him out to your party. So our main theme is Jump for Your Party. That's
Jump for your
Jump
party.
for Your Party.
Well, I see that. It's on your shirt there.
Right, it's Mr. Moonwalks, Jump for Your Party. So
All right.
we bring the party out to you.
So tell us a little bit about what inspired you to actually go into this business.
Well, we moved out here 11 years ago. No, about 13 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I never had a jumpy for a birthday party. And when we moved out here, I saw that, everybody, was having fun houses, jumpies,
Mm-hmm.
castles. And, I thought it was pretty cool. And I had small kids, and one of my cousins came from, where was she from? Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
And, she brought a magazine and said, why don't we buy a couple? So we looked at it. We ordered them the same day. And that's how we started.
A quick decision.
A quick decision.
You just you jumped for your party. You jumped right into it.
We jumped right into it.
Yeah.
We did. We didn't know what to do with them. So, we looked a little bit in the internet. There wasn't a lot back then.
Mm-hmm.
And, we started bringing them out, trying to figure out how to fold them. And, as time goes by, you get better and better at it. So.
All right. Now, we've seen jumpy things all over the place. Tell us, other than you say that yours are well maintained and they're
Mm-hmm.
clean, and hygiene and what have you is important to people. Tell us a little bit more about the selection of moonwalks that you have, and I think there's some other things that you say that you're going to be introducing as well.
Right, we have moonwalks for little kids. We have 13 by 13s. We have castles, sports arenas. We get a little bit bigger on the 15 by 15s. Princess castles, like Disney princesses, World of Disney, Toy
That's
Story.
popular. Yeah.
We have obstacle courses. We have big pinball slide. We have big adrenaline rush.
No, wait, which
carousel.
is the big adrenaline rush?
Adrenaline rush is an obstacle. It's a big obstacle that it's enclosed. So, you know, kids go in there, they go right through the maze, come back up, go up, come back down through a big slide.
Oh, I
So-
saw that. I saw that. I think my grandson went through that. It took him a while. I was waiting for him on the other end. Sometimes they're having a blast inside there.
They do. Sometimes they don't want to come out.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's for kids. I
Yeah.
mean, we do a lot of events also. We go out, we set up obstacle courses. The kids love them. They just, you know, I mean, these kids, some of these kids are like in and out and in and out and fast. And a lot of people, a lot of kids, when they see me around town, they kind of know me by the jumpy lady. So, you know, it's nice to see that. I love kids. I enjoy when I do big events and all the kids are around. That's one of my favorite things.
All right. Now, Reuben, you set these things up. Now you're just one person, though. How many employees do you actually have with you to help set up all these different jumpies and obstacle courses and what have you?
Well, since we do this on the weekends mostly, it kind of varies on the number of jobs that we have. So we can have from 2 to 4 kids helping us. Kids are high school kids.
Okay.
You know, they're very responsible and they're all trained for safety. You know, they're trained to, you know, go out there and set up and make sure that everything is good, because that's one of the things that, you know, that we promote. I mean, it's the safety.
Sure.
I mean, we've seen a lot of accidents lately on the news, you know, big jumpies flying around. You know, those are freak accidents that do happen. I mean, it's an act of God or a big
Sure.
gust of wind. You can't help it sometimes because they can be picked up and taken out. But one of the things that I do stress a lot when something like that, when the weather's changing, is I will either cancel, not put them up, or, you know, I let the people know that any change in weather, the jumpy needs to come down.
Sure.
And when everything passes, you know, jumpy can go right back up and everybody can have some fun.
Safety being a major concern.
Right.
And I know you said that you do, besides private parties, you also do gatherings or parties for businesses as well.
Yes, we do. In the past years, we've grown a little bit more. We do private events. We do Discover Tinley here. We've been doing it every year, and the kids have a good time. I enjoy it. I meet a lot of people. We do a lot of schools. Right now is the end of the school season, so we've been putting up jumpies for the kids for their last days and field days.
Well, we have about a minute left. Is there something you would like to say to our viewing audience to encourage them to call you through the chamber office?
Well, if anybody's having a party, you know, we are here. We're located in Tinley Park. We have a 10-mile radius, so we deliver to Tinley Park, Mokina, Matson, Frankfurt, New Lenox. And we also do tables and tents, so we can practically, you know, set up your whole party for you.
You said that, and I think that's a good thing. That gives you a little bit more diversity.
Yes, it does.
Well, as Lourdes has said, safety is a big concern of theirs, and they will set your jumpy and whatever else it may be in a safe fashion, and so everything ends up well. Lourdes and Reuben, thank you for being with us, and keep on jumping.
Thank you very much. So let's jump for your party. Give us a call.